This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Mike, I came to the realization today as I was preparing for our segment that we're going to do tonight, okay? And the segment we're going to do tonight is going to be what radical changes we would make to the PBA if we were doing the PBA in 2024, right? And I've come to the realization, me throwing ideas, doing this for literally 30 minutes today, that I should work for the PBA. And if I did work for the PBA, I guarantee you that my deal, what I want to do for the 2024 schedule would be a success. And there would be a lot more interest in bowling and it would get a lot more viewers. I'm just saying. So we'll talk about it. But Mike, I'm very excited for this segment because it's a slow bowling news, right? Week, month, whatever you want to call it, right? So I like these kind of shows where we could just kind of improvise and talk about things that we really didn't get a chance to talk about, or circle back to a lot of the stuff we've kind of talked about the last 6 months and discuss it on the show.
So last year around the same time, if I recall, we did a show where we both put together our own PBA schedule. Did we do that last year?
We did.
Okay. Where we really we spent some serious time and serious detail putting together a schedule. We're coming back to the same topic tonight, right? We're kind of circling back around to the same topic, but we're doing it in a little bit of a different way, where you and I are going to discuss if we got to make a handful of radical changes.
Radical
to the PBA, okay? Like think outside the box type ideas, okay? Correct. What direction would we go in, okay? Correct. And that's kind of what we're going to discuss tonight, among other things. But Rob, how was your week, man? How's things? How are things? How was your week? The Jets are a disaster.
They won.
You have to watch the Phillies about to take out the Braves tonight. Go Phils. I mean, is Harper amazing or is Harper amazing? This dude is he is like all time. He's reaching all time Philadelphia athlete status, no question.
I will be 100% honest with you. I don't watch a lot of baseball when the Mets are not playing. I don't. I really don't.
Understand.
I'll be honest with you. I love playoff baseball. I do, but if the Mets aren't playing, I don't watch it. Yes, the Jets are a disaster, but we're a 2-3 disaster. Probably about to be 2-4 this weekend because we are playing your Eagles. But, and you know as well as I do in the NFL,
any team can win.
It could happen at any time. I mean, the Eagles lost to the Redskins last year, and they were like 10.5 point favorites that game. So you never know what the NFL is planning in their, pre-NFL script that they have, right? So yeah, it'll be interesting. Do we have a wager on this game? If Mike gives me the Vegas odds, then maybe we'd have a wager. But me going just on the money line, I'd have to be completely out of my mind to make that wager. So yeah, week was good. I am starting to get the itch to start bowling again. I am. So we'll see when that official comeback comes in. But I'm more excited about the Ajidong Open next week. I'm going to be actually there Thursday night. We might be moving our show to Wednesday night next week, FYI. I might be filming live at somewhere else and having some guests on, maybe. And it's a big maybe, right? So I will give the people an update on when we plan on going live. But right now I am pre-planning on going live on Wednesday around the same time we go live right now, about 5:30. Could be 6. So we'll see what happens. And I'm talking Mountain Standard Time, which is West Coast. I'll keep the people in the loop. So yeah, I'm excited about next week. I get to hang out to Sweeper Thursday night next week, and then I might pop in Saturday for a round of qualifying. Who knows, Mike? I haven't thrown a ball in like 5 months. A real bowling ball, like really how I bowl. I might get the shoes on and pop the 275 entry and literally go right from the street and try to qualify, which would be an absolute disaster. But you never know. I might get that itch. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in your abilities, even walking off the street.
5 months.
I believe in that. So let's remind the people for a minute, right? You did an interview on Sunday, and I had some last minute issues go down that I wasn't prevented me from being involved in the interview on Sunday. But you had an interview on Sunday with two guys that are going to be bowling an action match around the Agent Ong Open
Thursday night. Sweeper.
Okay, so give the people the rundown.
Yeah, Thursday night, October 19th. So seven days a week from tonight. They're running a sweep the rack or sweeper the rack sweeper Thursday night, and they're having an after match. The sweeper, they're going to rerun the lanes. 5-game total set, 1,000 a game. For 5 games, regardless, it could be 4-0, and they're going to bowl the 5th. They're not bowling any more games. Yeah, we talked odds on the show. You could listen to it. It's on Spotify. It's on our YouTube. You could, we gave our odds. There'll be some side betting for sure. Robert even said he'd probably take some bets too. If people
all right, so if I Venmo you, can we get some bets in?
We could. I would definitely do what I can to get bets in when I'm there. The problem for me is I'm not probably going to stay for the full match. I'll be honest with you. I do have to go to work, Mike, Friday, and I do have to wake up at 4:30, and that match is probably going to run until, I'd imagine they're going to run till like 1 or 2 a.m. because it's after the sleeper. So there's no chance I'm going to go home and go and be on an hour sleep to go to work. So I could put bets in with Carl, and I guarantee you, if worst case scenario, I'll see him on a Saturday, and I can collect if you want. So,
okay,
yeah.
Well, you should just take Friday off, bro.
I can't do it, man.
Oh, you should just take Friday off. Come on,
man. I can't
take a day. My goodness.
Dude, when you're in corporate America, sometimes you just, you can't just take a sick day. It just can't happen. People would understand the kind of position. You're a teacher, man. Nobody cares. You get a substitute. They put a TV show on for the kids. They're happy. The sub's happy. He's getting paid. You're happy. You get a sick day.
True.
Look at Dougie coming in hot, saying GT2 lost to me. How is he going to beat Robert? Man, Dougie, you beat Greg Thompson. Man, he must have been hammered. Now I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Nah, Dougie can light him up when he gets the right look. Dougie can light him up when he gets the right look. I've seen it. He won a sports sweeper a few years back in the night before a team tournament that we bowled. So I've definitely seen it.
Read some of the comments here. National Bowler 1. I never get to make a live show due to other obligations. You guys run a fantastic podcast. Thanks for taking all the fun topics in bowl, man. Yeah, we appreciate that, man. We do it for comments like that, honestly, for people that we don't even know listen or watch. I mean, isn't that it's amazing how many people listen or watch and you don't even realize they're listening and watching. I had one guy that I didn't even know who watched. He came over to me one day. He's like, watch out for those patch pirates. And I'm like, oh shit, he knows the show. I was just laughing.
Carl Ong of the Agent Ong Open in the chat. FYI, the pattern was just released, and yes, I'll be there to handle action if required. Can you give us the details on the pattern?
Mike, did you see Carl's flex when he was on our show Sunday night? Did you get a chance to see it?
I did not.
He went live right from the 49er game. And he was literally sitting there, and he had a selfie on, and the game was going on right behind him. And then it was a huge flex, probably the biggest interview flex that I've ever had. But we couldn't hear him, obviously, so he was on mute. But
I didn't see the game, but from what I saw, it wasn't much. He had plenty of time to be on a podcast during that game because it was it was a blowout in favor of the San Francisco 49ers, I was happy to see the result of that game the next day. So, that's awesome.
I'm looking at this pattern, Mike. Oh, good God, I'm probably not bully after seeing this pattern. 42 feet. Okay, now keep in mind I'm not the greatest at knowing patterns, but I know certain numbers to look for. 42 feet, 34 mil, which isn't kind of not a heavy, right? 34 mil is in the.
I think that's pretty high. I think that's pretty high.
But the ratios are pretty low. 1 to 6, 1.6, 1.0, 1, 1, 1, 1.83.
They're going to be tough.
They're going to be tough. And like I said, if you want to go to the Agent on social media, check it out. He posted it, but they're going to be heavy and they're going to be flat. So yeah, no, I was thinking something else with the mils, but 34 mils. I was thinking it was like 20. I was thinking 24 mils, which would have been lighter. 34 mils is heavy and flat.
What ball are you starting with on that?
I am 30. I mean, 42 feet, that heavy.
I'm starting with a reality.
Reality. They don't want urethane getting thrown. That's what this shows me. I could be wrong, but they don't want urethane at 42 feet, 34 mil surface. No doubt that ball's got to be at least a 500 or 1,000 coming out of the gate.
Right.
That's gonna have to be like reality 500 grit. Eyes looking at about 11 to 10. Probably not getting right of 7. That's probably where I'm gonna start, and then just kind of inch my way left and hope a spot hits to the right. But I don't do. That's kind of where I would be, but I haven't even seen the pattern or played on it. So just from the graph.
Yeah, I would imagine like you got to hope that like a burn spot develops on that pattern somewhere, right? And like people just play them the right way, and a burn spot develops, and then you have something to throw it to.
Slow, right. Soft, slow and soft. Hand in back of the ball. Get a little bit of end over end roll. Not do too much. Really just try to play with the pocket, and try to stay clean for a game or two. Hope they carry down to the left. Hope there's a little bit of a spot to the right. And then you could just hopefully start feeding it and not try to get – a lot of the key with those patterns is not trying to get ahead of yourself and just trying to stay clean and, get the doubles when you can. And if you bowl 170 or 180, not to worry about it because you're probably not that far behind the field. And try to stay around even to minus for a few games, 2 or 3 games, right around the even mark. And then hopefully the last 3 or 4 games, you could move left and you could start opening them up to score higher. That's usually my strategy almost every tough pattern that I bowl on. Stay clean, make your spares, not try to average 230, right? And not get frustrated if you do come out of the gate and bowl 160, because probably a lot of people do.
Who are the big guns showing up to this event? I know that it was discussed that Weber might be there, obviously, and it's the Pete Weber of today, right? But yeah. Any other big names that are expected at this event? Is Buttrick bowling this event? I know he's out in your area.
Yeah, I read something on social media post about him being not healthy or working on his health. So I hope he's okay. We wish him I wish him well wishes. Good dude, always friendly when I see him in league. Love talking to him. Sean Rash is bowling for sure.
Okay.
And you would imagine, I would imagine you get a lot of the people from Vegas. I would imagine you see a lot of the Tang brothers. Kevin Williams is bowling, which is pretty cool. A lot of the heavy hitters from Arizona, I'd imagine, are bowling. You get your Cortez Shanks and your, Wesley Lowe's, I would imagine. But I know there is a regional going on west, so I'm not sure how many of the big hitters that took away. But Carl in the Chava can go through some of more of the heavy hitters. But it's gonna be a big tournament for sure, and there's gonna be a lot of heavy hitters. So
okay, Kevin Williams, Cortez Shank. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
No doubt.
And the local area bowlers here in Arizona are no joke.
I know it's
man.
strong. I know it's strong out there. Yeah, for sure.
We got Andrew Kane and Brett Wolf and Chris Clerk and Ed Smaglick and Matt Jones, and I could just go down the list, like Mike Fitzgerald, like and then there's a bunch of great senior bowlers and Brianna Cote, and I mean, like some great female bowlers. This area is stacked with great bowlers. So,
Wesley Lowe bowling. Wesley Lowe signed. Yeah, okay.
I think so. I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure.
I know that's another name from out there. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. And Carl, when it's over, join us. Come join us. Give us the rundown. Give us a summary of the action for sure. And if there's a link to watch, definitely email us the link or put it out to us. We'll definitely put it out on our social media so people can check it out.
I may be on the booth too Thursday night for the sweepers. So, okay. Mike, if you want to check out me in the booth, it'll be my first time actually doing it. So,
nice.
It'll be fun for me. And they put out a really funny gift. Did you see they put my hat on the UFC broadcast? Did you see that gift? Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
Joe Rogan's doing this, and they put my face on it.
Okay.
Emil Williams is streaming, so
okay, good.
Yeah, so it'll be a good tournament, first ever.
Awesome. I'll be tuned in for at least a bit of it as much as I can. All right, Rob. Let's get into the conversation of the evening here, and get out of the chit chat portion of our introduction here. Oh, I don't have a league report this week. I apologize to the people. Listen, I'm not going to have a league report for another 2 weeks because if you're unaware, the weather on the weekends out here on the East Coast has been brutal. Okay. So it's rained numerous weekends, both days, Saturday and Sunday. And that meant that we had numerous soccer games canceled. And there's also other soccer games that fall on weekends that no one wants to play on, like Thanksgiving weekend and other things. So I have soccer games scheduled for the next 3 weeks, this past Tuesday, the next Tuesday, and the Tuesday after. So I won't be back for a couple weeks until we switch patterns. But, I'm sorry. I apologize to the people. I'll probably be taking a couple trips to the training center between now and then, just to get some work in, stay sharp a little bit. I was actually going to bowl a bowlage tournament this weekend at Carolier if it rained on Saturday. It's supposed to rain again this weekend out here. And if it rained on Saturday and my regular plans got canceled, I was going to go bowl that bowlage event at Carolier, but he canceled the event because he only had like 22 people pre-registered for it or some number like that. So I was disappointed to see that, but yeah, it is what it is. What are you going to do? There's other events going on this weekend that people want to bowl, I guess. So, it'd be a couple weeks before I have a league report. But all right, Rob, let's get into the conversation of the evening here. What we proposed was that, we would both be able to make a handful of changes, radical changes to the PBA Tour. Okay, so how do you want to go? Do you want to go change for change, or do you want to do our whole list once, one shot? No, change for change?
Let's do change for change, because then I'm talking for a while and you're talking. I'd rather go back and forth.
Okay. All right. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So the first major change that I would make to the PBA Tour, and this is strictly based off of the 2023 tour, okay, of what they did this year, okay? I'm going to junk a bunch of tournaments, and I'm going to list the tournaments that I would junk. Scrap it, okay? The Skills Bowl Challenge, the Strike Derby, PBA versus the World, Super Slam, and the PBA Tour Finals. Those would be the tournaments I would scrap immediately, okay? You know how much money I'm putting back into the PBA, scrapping those tournaments? And keep in mind, I didn't know what the Strike Derby, they didn't give a prize fund for the Strike Derby. I don't know how much. So this is without the Strike Fund.
It's probably like 80,000.
Yeah, probably. 373,000 I saved just by scrapping those tournaments. Okay. I'm still keeping a lot of the tournaments, the World Series of Bowling, a lot of the
regular events, the majors,
regular events. Right. I'm getting rid of the Super Slam where they paid a bunch of money to like 5 players, right? Like I junked those tournaments. The tour finals,
PBA Tour finals, 8 guys,
8 players. They threw a whole lot of money, right? The rich get richer. I junked all of it. Okay. Well, after junking that tournament gives me about 370,000. I'm going to take that money, and we talked about it, and I'm probably going to divvy it up a little bit better, but I'm probably majority of going to put about 250 more thousand of that 370 into the PBA league. Okay. And then, so this is only one change I'm making. Okay?
Oh, all this is one change?
It's one change.
You're on 2 changes already. This is 2 changes.
I'm talking about why where I got the money to make the PBA league change. Okay. That's where I got my money. Okay. And then I'm going to do what we talked about doing. I'm going to have I'm going to run 4 PBA league tournaments. Okay. At all different locations, 3 of them during majors like US Open, Masters, as well as the Players Championship. 3 of those tournaments the league will be run qualifying, or that tournament will be run during that week of bowling. Okay. Streamed on Bowl TV. It's going to be the separate tournament. And every time the team wins a tournament, they get points so that they get a higher seeded ranking in the final for the league. Okay. And then I'm gonna give it more coverage on the league. I'm gonna have probably the 4th tournament at the Elias Cup, maybe at the beginning of the week, where everybody, and I'm gonna open up the league to 16 teams as well, since I have the more money. So that's kind of one of the radical changes I would make. I would cut out some of the crap they did, junk these tournaments.
That was 4 radical changes. That was 4 radical changes in one change. You're not playing fairly at this game, Rob.
Well, that's only one of my changes, but yeah, I mean, look, you could call it there's someone in the chats like, PB League is garbage if it's doing Baker format. I completely disagree with that. I love the Baker format, but I do think the major tournaments that they would run for the league would be like more just regular 5 qualifying, like them bowling, like them games like we used to do in college, right? Where they maybe bowl 2 blocks of 5 games of 5-person teams, and then maybe the top 4 would become like a Baker like step ladder or something like that. But there would be a mix of both.
Okay.
That's just my one radical change, but that would be my change. Scrap his tournaments and put more money and time in the PBA league. Okay, so that's one.
All right. Mine's easy, man.
Okay.
But we're talking radical. We're talking radical changes here, okay? And I'm sure some people are going to knock me and give me shit because the change I'm going to make is something that has been tried before, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to do it a little bit differently, and I'm going to piggyback some other changes to that.
Okay. So you have more changes too, yeah.
No, but the ones that I'm piggybacking are separate changes. Okay, I'm not going to give them all at once, but yes, you already said it. My first major change is we're going back to an exempt tour. Okay, but here's the deal: we're only going to 16 guys. Okay, we're going to an exempt
here, but I'm not liking it. I'm open, but I'm not liking it.
We're going to an exempt tour, and we're going to 16 players.
Okay, explain more. What are you doing to get? What are you doing to get involved the other 50?
All right. So do you want me to go next and give my second change? Can I make a point, though? Let me make this point. Okay.
Yes.
Why? First, I want to say this. Why is tennis successful? Why does anybody know Roger Federer's name or any other tennis player's name? Okay.
Because they're always on TV.
Because they're always on TV in the finals, right? It's always the same matchups. It's always the same people playing each other. And it creates these drawn out, career-long storylines of seeing the same players compete against each other at the highest level, right?
Okay.
We need more of that in bowling. Okay. In fact, it's a shame that that we didn't do this earlier when Belmo was beginning this run, right? Because that would have made it even better. Okay. But now we're at a point where he's still in his prime, I would say. And you have some younger players that can really give him a run for his money. So that could be interesting too. But here's the point I want to make. I want to read you the top 16 from the point list last year. Okay. Are you ready? Top 16 from the point list last year. EJ Tackett, Simonson, Belmo, Barrett, Buttriff, Prather, Hanrahan, Troop, O'Neill, Svensson, Jones, Ogle, Vi, Johnson, Rash, Cooley. Okay, that's top 16. Here's the next 9. Jake Peters, Sean Maldonado, Kyle Sherman, Jason Sterner, Tom Darty, Kevin McCune, Marshall Kent, Stuart Williams, Santu Tavinainen.
Okay.
My point would be this. The top 16 is enough. That's where that list of people that I read, that's where most of the vast majority of the titles, and definitely the vast majority of the major titles are being won by those 16 players that I read. And outside of that top 16, for most instances, if one of those guys makes a run, it's usually or probably not ending in a win. Okay. And I really don't think that they're the every week threat to win. The only person outside that top 16 that I might not say that about is Kevin McCune. But I believe if you listen to my next couple changes, you'll understand how a guy like Kevin McCune would still have a shot to succeed on this 16-person exempt tour.
You got to talk. That's got to be your next point, because I'm not following here. I'm not agreeing with you at this point.
Okay. My next point, my next radical change to the PBA would be that in that exempt tour of 16, okay, each week, the top 8, they get an even bigger advantage. They get a bye. Okay, the top 8 get a bye in the first round of competition. And then every week that we run a tour event, okay, now the opens would still be open and anybody could bowl, right? But every week that we run an exempt tour event, okay, we're also going to run a regional, a super regional. And the top 16 exempt people, they're not allowed to bowl it. It's only for people that are outside the top 16 exempt people. And these super regionals, they're going to be worth 15, 20,000. Okay. They're going to be shown on Bowl TV too. All right. And if you finish in the top 8 of any of those super regionals, guess what? You're in the exempt field for that week. Okay. And now you get to bowl a match in that first round of the exempt field in that 16. So then first round gets bowled at 16, second round is 16. Okay. Then you're down to 8, down to 4, down to 2.
So here's my question.
Yep.
Here's my question. If I'm the 17th ranked player,
okay,
do rankings change on a week-to-week basis? I would imagine yes, right?
I would say yes.
Because like when you're exempt, it means like you're exempt, right? But if your exemptions would be given only to the top 1 to 16 rankings.
I don't know about every event, but I think if you look at a schedule and you say, okay, what are the best places to reevaluate the rankings and perhaps adjust those? I would say maybe every 3 events, right? Something like that, or you have checkpoints throughout the schedule. But yes, I would definitely be re-ranking that list as the season goes on. Yes.
Okay. But, Doyle's saying in the chat that kills the sports fans love the underdog. I mean, in Mike's format, the underdog could still go through the super regional and still make it to the top.
It's an even better underdog story.
Yeah. So
it's an even better underdog story.
As long as you're able to bowl the super regional, which I'd imagine anybody with a player with a PBA card could bowl the super regional at that point, right?
Right.
And then you bowl. It's like what you're talking about is actually a huge PTQ essentially, right? Like a huge regional.
Well, I mean, no, I'm going to call it a super regional because I would give a regional title to the winner, and I would like it to pay, $20,000 ideally, right, to the winner, and I would like to be running 12 to 13 of them a season, okay? Which if you think about it, is almost like more than they're doing right now if you combine that with the majors and the opens. So I would feel like I'm actually giving those lower tier players more shot at winning because I'm taking the top 16 guys out and I'm letting you bowl for 20 grand every week.
You know what the problem with
what
that
more
is?
do you want?
The exempt players would be pissed in a way because they wouldn't get a chance to bowl for that. Like
how are they exempt? How they pissed? They're guaranteed a check every week.
I know, but
just for showing up.
I get it, but if I would want I would want a shot at that 15 grand too for the super regional. You know what I mean?
Okay, I mean I'll be honest. Like part of my idea here has to do with the contract arrangements in bowling, and like you know that I'm under the belief that there's some people that are out there bowling mainly because they have a ball contract, and if they didn't, they probably wouldn't be out there bowling, right? So they're going to keep that ball contract in the format that I'm talking about because those guys are going to get on bowl TV, make the finals, win these super regional titles. They'll have their own like level of competition where a lot of them will succeed, right? So they'll still keep their ball contracts and everything, and it makes it worth it for them to be out there. But at the same time, you're going to get better matchups on TV when you go through that top 16 exempt format. Like, I hate to be this way. I'm just trying to do what I think is right for bowling and what bowling needs. But like, I want to see Belmo bowl Tackett and Simonson and Prather and Troop, and I want to see these guys bowl each other on TV every week. Okay, I have no problem with that whatsoever. No problem with that whatsoever.
Okay, that's definitely a radical change. You weren't kidding.
Yeah, but hold on. Larry in the chat is making the point and says guys that don't have the opportunity to be on TV aren't going to keep those contracts. Larry, there's a lot of guys that have contracts right now that don't get on TV and don't have a chance. And I mean, I don't want to say they don't have a chance, but the chance is slim. Okay. Right. You know, and no, I'm not going to go as far as to call them patch pirates. They're a great stretch from that. Let's not be ridiculous now. Okay.
I didn't want him to say it.
But Larry, seriously, like if I'm taking the top 16 guys out of those super regional competitions and we're airing those on Bowl TV, right? We're airing those on Bowl TV, and those guys have the opportunity, if they're bowling well in the super regionals, to get in the regular field to make a run and get on TV. Okay? Because once I go to this exempt field, I mean, I didn't use this as one of my ideas, but I'm switching to a match play format too. Like it's going to be one versus 16. You want to get to the show. If you're the 16th guy, you want to get to the show. You got the hardest road to get to the show. You're going to have to beat Belmo. Then you're going to have to beat another great player. Then you're going to have to beat another great player. So all right, go ahead, Rob. What's your second?
My second is a new tournament that needs to be developed. Now, I scrapped all the bullshit, right? The Skill Bowls Challenge, the Strike Derby, Super Slam, Tour Finals. I scrapped all of it. I immediately saved the PBA 375 grand, right? Now, I still have about 115 left over, 1,000. So here's my idea. I want to start a tournament. It's a 64-man tournament, okay? However you want to do it, by points, whatever it is. It's going to be a bracket, just like the NCAA bracket is, 64 people. This tournament is going to be strictly made for betting on bowling, okay? Every match of the 64 is best 4 out of 7, okay? Best 4 out of 7 matches or best 3 out of 5 matches. And
man, if we're doing it, can we go multiple best 3 out of 5s? Like sets, like best of 3, best of 5 sets.
No,
how about that? How about that? Oh, too much. Well, these guys bowl 80 games in a week.
So my idea would be to take the 64, but it would be strictly so that people could bet on every match. It would be streamed, obviously, on Bowl TV. There would be a really more of a press on the odds, right? And the PBA would have to get with Bet Rivers or get with a FanDuel or Fox Bet, somebody who could be on site there right? And not only take bets on site while you're watching live, but could also improvise for people doing it online that could bet on bowling on the states that are legal. And hopefully, that more and more states open up that kind of betting. But I want to see a top 64 bracket, and I want to give a title for it. But I also want to be so that it's just like, almost like how the Masters is with their bracket, but it's just a strictly NCAA bracket, and it's best 3 out of 5, and you're strictly betting on bowling. And to me, it combines the betting and the match play, and it just always is a good mix when you combine those two. Could you imagine, Mike, being an all-day Friday, Saturday, you're just able to go to the bowling alley and just sit there live or online and just bet on matches, like live best 3 out of 5 matches? I think would be.
I think if you're going to do that, you also have to be able to bet game by game
odds, whatever it is, right? Like, I mean, yeah, like you could bet matches, you could bet game, but I think it has to be they have to revolve the tournament around being able to do that. And if it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a big scale, like a 64. It could start with 32, right? And then you go from there.
I'd be so broke after the round of 64. It would be a joke. It would be, you couldn't give me a big enough bankroll and I'd be broke after the round of 64. 64, 32 bowling matches to bet on? Are you kidding me? Come on.
And you do it somewhere where it's like, where you could get people. Like for me, you do it in Vegas. You do it in Vegas. You do it at a really, one of the nice casinos that could fit a lot of people. Maybe you do it to South Point Stadium, right? Where you could fit a lot of people. Maybe you do it to Red Rock, right? But you do it somewhere where people might want to go there, and or they're already to gamble and they're like, oh, check out this live bowling event, we can go gamble. So but they have to get some kind of partnership with like a Bet Rivers, right? Who's already doing the bowling thing, and partner up with them and let them market it, let the PBA market it, and then strictly do a big tournament so that you could bet.
Okay. Alex Sorge already mentioned what part of my last change would be. And that would be I'll be honest, I didn't think this deeply about you, like you did, in terms of what I would cancel or where I'm going to get the budget to do these other things, right? I think I didn't put that much thought into it, but I'm bringing back some. Now Alex said the PBA playoffs, and I didn't really write down PBA playoffs, but I'm bringing back some sort of end of season event, okay, where the exempt field of 16 is going to be in this event, okay, and then the next 16 is going to be the top players from the super regional field, okay, and this end of season event is going to have a twist to it in a way where if you finish, let's say in the final 4 of this event, your chances of being on the exempt list for the next season are pretty good. Okay. So you're giving those super regional players, the top 16 super regional players, this end of season event where if they bowled the whole season and they finished in the top 16 in points, yeah, they're going to have to make their way through this whole field. And they're going to have to start from the first round of the bracket where the top 16 exempt, maybe 8, and then another 4 are going to get a bye or perhaps 2 in this tournament. But they're going to have a chance where if they make a run in this tournament, they finish in the final 4. Points wise, I would set it up to where anybody who's in that final 4, yeah, you're going to be in the exempt list for the next year. Bring back an end of the season event. I love the PBA playoffs. I thought it was awesome to have that end of season event and the opportunity to really, again, highlight some of the same players who you saw on TV all throughout the season. Now you get to go back and highlight them again and do a little bit more in depth into their stories and wrap the season up in a meaningful way instead of in a not meaningful way like they've done with some of these extra events that you mentioned.
Okay. No, that's I like end of the season tournaments. I think every sport essentially has that to a certain degree, right? At least the major sports. I mean, you don't have to go through them. Super Bowl, NBA Finals, baseball playoffs, World Series. I mean, there's always a finale to a sports season, right? In a certain degree. And I think sometimes bowling has missed the opportunity to build a flagship and Super Bowl type event for them, right? And I think that's something that people could look forward to. And I think, if it doesn't essentially have to be a tournament like that, it could be a Masters or a US Open, right? But it would have to be something where they would finish up every year with that one tournament. I feel like they're always flip-flopping schedule, and sometimes the US Open's the first tournament, sometimes it's the middle term. Like, they're just always mixing around pieces. Like, there needs to be more consistency for beginning of the year and end of the year tournaments, right? And I think that's why people love like sports so much, because people, they know what the regular season is, they know what the playoffs are, they know what the Super Bowl is, right? Like, it's structured and it's the same. It's consistent. It's structured. It's consistent. And people know when the Super Bowl is going to be. It's going to be in February, right? They know when the season starts. It starts in September after, the holiday, right? After Labor Day. So, like, bowling doesn't have that consistency. It's always a new schedule. It's always new dates and times, and there's never a consistency of their tournaments.
And here we are talking about changing it more.
We would, but once you find something that you think works, like, you gotta stick with the major pieces. The major pieces and the major cinder blocks of the PBA season, you can't really move it. You have to keep them consistent and stable, and then you could always move around pieces outside of that. You know what I mean? I think that's important to understand, where I think there's just never been a really major building blocks. They have the US Open and the Masters, but it's always at a different time and a different place. And my brother Jeff wants to see a PBA string pin championship. I think we're gonna get that sooner than later. I'll be honest with you. I could actually see them doing something like that in the 2024 season. It wouldn't surprise me to see that, to be honest, especially if Bolero centers are going to more string pins, and that's a whole nother topic. And we've talked about that numerous times. Okay, Mike.
Let's give the people what they want, Rob.
Wait, I didn't finish my last one.
Oh, you got more?
I got one more.
Oh, my God. You gave like 6, 7 changes. You did 4 in the first one. I'm sorry. How could I think you had more?
I scrapped the 4, which we needed to scrap. But here's what I would do, and it's just going to be a quick one, okay? The PBA needs to invest in money and do something outside of these 4 tournaments that I scrapped, where they could use the TV time for FS1 or Fox to highlight and market and get to know the players of the PBA. I don't care if it's a reality show where they put all the PBA players with amateurs, and you run a PBA reality show where you could put on Fox, you could put on Netflix, whatever it is. There needs to be more filming and more content on the players outside of the bowling. Bowling itself, throwing a ball at bowling pins, will only take the sport so far. You will never get over the hump of the money and the viewers and the ratings where we are now in the sport if they don't make a better connection between the players and the fans. And the only way they're going to do that is by having outside of the box thinking, using the PBA players with some kind of show, right? Or documentary or something. I've been yelling for years now for them to do something like this. They need to do it. Read my article I wrote on Jeff Riggle's 11 Frame blog. Bowling is boring. You need characters. You need personality. You have to get more creative when it comes to showing their personalities. The Kimberly Pressler questions are going to only take you so far, Mike, to get to know these players, right? There's got to be more exposure. There's got to be an in-dive depth, more magnifying glass on some of the players, which are some characters. Bowling always has characters, right? And instead of the PBA just throwing out qualifying on television and wasting hours and hours of viewers.
19 man step ladder.
Yeah.
19-man step
Instead of
ladder.
a 19-man step ladder, they need to do something what I'm talking about. Even if it cuts out, a quarter of the season, really. They need to take it and they need to move it so that people could actually get to know these players on a personal basis from their couch in their living room.
I mean, I think your point on this has been somewhat proven by the explosion of like the Brad and Kyle channel and the Darren Tang channel. Like clearly there's there's people that want to view this type of content behind the scenes, life of a bowler type deal. They feel connected to these guys. They show up and watch them bowl when they're in their areas. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's something to it. All right, these are two wild comments, so I got to bring them up. Yo Mop, who we always say, Yo Mop always has something interesting to say.
We know him, and we don't know who it is.
Yo Mop is connected, yo. There's no question. Yo Mop, whoever you are, we know you're connected, okay? Yo Mop says PBA going to go out of business in the next 10 years. What do you think? What do you think about that, Rob?
I think 10 years a lot could happen. I don't. My biggest concern when Bolero took over the PBA is how long they were going to be on board doing what they were going to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, the first few years the Bolero's taking the PBA over, they've done a good job, putting money in the tournaments, right? I mean, we talk about all the money that are in a lot of these tournaments that wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Bolero, right? We didn't even talk about the LBC championship, which was another, 373,000 they paid out, 200 and I believe 10 was entry fees collected. So it looks like they took $142,000 they added to that tournament, right? So Bolero has been doing a decent job with the money, right? And I have no problems with that. But are they going to do it for the next 10 years, right? The next 5 years, right?
Well, I was going to say, like, if the PBA tour goes out of business and Bolero's still in business, then that just means that Bolero let the PBA tour go out of business. Well, because Bolero's a big enough company where they could write the PBA tour off as a loss, and I don't think it would be the end of the world to them.
Let me tell you something. You know what concerns me about Bolero? Bolero was on record talking that the PBA to them is a marketing tool.
Marketing tool, right?
Okay. Now, if anybody knows corporate America and they know about expenses and they know anything about accounting, right? Which I don't, but I know about corporate America. When your company starts losing money and you need to cut costs, do you know what the first department that is cut out of every company when they're about to do layoffs?
Marketing,
Mike. That's what concerns me about the PBA with Bolero is the minute Bolero starts losing money as a business and their stock and they get pressure from the upper executives to cut money, the first thing they're going to cut is the PBA because it's a marketing tool. And that's just corporate America. And I know that very well because I've actually had to be the person doing the layoffs. So, yes, I know a little bit about that, like kind of the business. That's what concerns me about Bolero at the PBA.
Robert, another wild comment I wanted to bring up, saying Bolero, the enemy of the PBA tour and bowling in general. I mean, I don't know if you can go that far, Robert. I think there's not enough evidence to go that far. I disagree with that.
I'll take that in depth.
Strongly, somewhat too. I have to say.
Look, Bolero is not the enemy of the PBA tour. They want the PBA tour to succeed, Robert. There's no way they don't want it to succeed. They're putting money into it. They want it to succeed for their marketing brand, right? They said it. Now, if you said Bolero was the enemy of competitive bowling in their centers, I could kind of get on board with that statement. The head of Bolero has been on record saying that competitive bowling was kind of a joke to him. And he didn't say that quote unquote, but I don't remember. Mike, do you remember what exactly his quote unquote was when they asked him about competitive bowling years ago?
It was something like, who's interested in competitive bowling?
Yeah. And he's not going to change his opinion on that, right? Like, he's there. Bolero is obviously on the recreation side of it, right? They know where the money is. They know where their bread's buttered with But ultimately, the league bowler is coming back every week, Mike, and spending money there. So Bolero needs to do a better job making both parties, the competitive bowler and the recreation bowler, happy. And they're not doing that right now.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's give the people what they want, Rob.
Yes, sir.
All right, you want to go?
Sure, because I'm gonna share. Actually, you go first. Why? I know I got it up here. I'll go first here. So I'm gonna share a picture from the Bowling Science Forum, the new gift that keeps on giving. My favorite forum, my favorite thread without dealing with Tim Buck. Okay. So far this has been nothing but amazing for me. So my worst of the week goes to Aman Khan. Okay, who built this.
I saw this.
So
I saw this.
Here's the post, and I'm going to explain it for our viewers who are listening, which we have a lot of our viewers who listen on Spotify and Rhapsody when they're like driving, and we get some really cool emails from our fans and people. Just installed a new rack for my bowling balls to make things much easier. And I want to explain what this is to our people who are
Oh,
so
my goodness.
Our boy here looks like he's got a really nice house, right? It looks like this is a really beautiful house just from the front door and the hardwood floors, okay?
Why would you ruin it this way?
My man
That's
built,
what I'm thinking.
My man built a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, looks like a 7-bowl rack from probably about 2 feet from the floor up to probably like 8 feet tall, you would think. Like it's past the door, right? So it's got to be at least like 8 feet, right, high. And he literally has his bowling balls on racks in the middle of his, like right when you walk in the front door.
In the foyer.
In the foyer.
In the foyer.
Right.
In the foyer. You walk in the foyer and you're greeted by 7 bowling balls very nicely aligned vertically going down the wall. I hope this guy knows. When I saw this post, I thought, man, I hope this guy is better at contracting stuff than I am.
So here is
my goodness, like you could rip your whole entire wall out, I would imagine. Or what if you go to grab one of those balls and it falls? Too much for me, bro.
So here was my comment. Now think about this rationally, okay? Is when I bowl and I have 6 to 8 balls, my balls never really leave my trunk of my car. Okay. Dude, you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to get your balls out of your trunk, out of your car in the garage or parking spot,
right?
Wheeling them into the house,
right?
Putting them in. Dude, it's a pain in the ass. So does this guy every time he bowls, does he go and bring his balls from his car to his trunk, unwrap, like literally open his bags, put his balls on the rack? He probably needs a ladder, right, to put on like
at least a stepping stool. There's at least a stepping stool involved here.
So he's getting a stepping stool, and is he doing this like multiple times a week when he bowls?
Here's my other question. He's got to be cleaning them too, right? Before he puts them up there, because listen, let's be honest, bowling balls kind of get a certain funk to them. No, there's like sweaty hand smell mixed with carpet in the bottom of the pit smell.
I mean, so like brand new storm ball. Like, I mean, like
even with that, bowling balls are not the type of thing. You got tape in the thumb hole that's absorbing all the sweat, and no. I honestly, I don't. Bowling ball smell is not really something as I want as an air freshener option in my house, dude, even if it is a storm ball.
Dude, all I know just from one picture, this guy's not married. He doesn't have any little kids. All right, because there's no way you're gonna have this if you have a little kid in your house, dude. Could you imagine? Like this could kill. It could kill kill people, right? If you walk by this thing, God forbid there's an earthquake, Mike. It's gonna be raining bowling balls in this guy's dining room. Literally, like. Anyway, I can't get. I just think this is hilarious. So congrats. This is one of my good worst of the weeks here. So
before I get to my worst of the week, Stumpo doesn't understand that he can watch this whenever he wants later. 2023, bro. What a time to be alive. Jeff says he would have bought the PBA Tour if he had won the Powerball. Jeff, it's funny you say that. I had that same exact conversation with my wife after I bought some Powerball tickets earlier this week. She was like, "What are you going to do if you win?" I said, "You know what I'm going to do if we win this 1.7 billion? I'm buying the PBA Tour.
No.
I'm turning it into exactly what I want it to.
No,
and I'm blowing it up. No, I'm starting my own tour.
Exactly what you're doing.
Okay.
I'm literally cut the legs right out under them. I'm going complete live. I'm going complete live.
Right.
I'm going to start my own.
You're right. Why pay them? Why pay them? We could start.
Why give them the satisfaction? I'm starting my own, and I'm going to.
Why give them any of my money? I'm just gonna start my own. It's gonna be the.
And I'm going to do it how I. And I'm going to do it how I want to do it. And I will guarantee you one thing, Mike. Our PBA Tour, because if I won the Powerball, you would be involved. You would be involved with a fat, nice six-figure salary.
I mean, please, we're bringing it. I win the $1 billion Powerball. We're all coming, son. All of us are coming. You, Jeff, Dave, team. I'm calling and saying, "Yo, quit your job. Let's go."
Yo,
I mean, seriously.
I know I'm not paying for the history, Jeff. He says pay for the history, the Hall of Fame, the titles. I'm starting my own. I'm going to be the OG. I'm going to be the originator, and I'm going to pay more, and it's going to be more entertaining. And guess what? With all that money, I could probably buy myself a nice little fat TV deal somewhere. Oh man,
right?
Yeah, I would. It would be very entertaining too. I'll guarantee you that.
We could probably buy Bowl TV.
Yeah, I would buy Bowl TV.
Say no, now Bowl TV is ours.
I would buy. No, you know what I would do, Mike? I would build my own bowling center arena where I would literally do the filming all year, and honestly, not one place. Really, I would film everything out of this one spot. Honestly,
you could probably do it with that kind of budget. You could probably even have different bays in the place that have different lane surfaces, so you're getting a little bit of everything. No one really has. I mean, you could really put some thought into it and set it up perfectly if you wanted to do that. We have bowling with the Fef is coming. Bowling with the Fef. Are you kidding? You're our interview media guy, bro. You're our interview media guy. Please.
I ain't doing it.
Lucas Wiseman's coming too. Lucas Wiseman's coming with us too. He's quitting Flow. He's coming with us. We hit the lottery.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring in Coley just to fire her.
Oh, that's too good.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Here's my worst of the week, and I thought this one was fun because I think I can look at it two different ways and give it worst of the week. So. Again, guess where it's from? It's from the Bowling Science Forum. The Bowling Science Forum is the new it's the new place for horror shows of bowling social media posts. This was by Mona Tucker Santoro. Congratulations, Mona. You won worst of the week here at Sweep the Rack. So Mona posted a picture of one of those it says Windy City Novelties hand clapper noise maker party favor.
Okay.
Can you envision, for my people that are listening, can you envision what it is? It's like the thing that you shake back and forth and it makes the clapping noise.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Post that. It looks like she screenshotted it from Amazon. And the Mona's post says this: is it legal to use noisemakers during a USBC league?
Oh, no.
But hold on. Can we look at this from two different perspectives here? Can we dig into this a little bit? So the way you're looking at it, I'm sure, is that she's buying this to be the noisemaker, right? And she's going to be the one with the clappy things. Her whole team's going to have the clappy things. I honestly hope she's a Mamma Mia. I do. And I hope her and her Mamma Mia friends are sitting in the settee with their little clapper things. Yeah. Right? Is that the way you're thinking about it?
Yeah. I mean,
okay. What if she's posting this because somebody's already using it and she's on the other end?
Ooh.
Can you consider that? No. And who is that person that she's posting about? It's got to be a Mamma Mia type person or team. I actually feel like, oh man, if somebody wants to use the hand clappers, go ahead, use the hand clappers. Maybe you just shouldn't be bowling in that league if you have a problem with that. I don't know. So thought it was an interesting post for worst of the week because either way, I think it's a ridiculous point to make. But
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the really annoying chants that the women bowling team would have in college, where they still have them too. You know, I never haven't been to a college women bowling
It
event in a
seems like
while,
they're
but
worse than ever.
worse than ever. I remember only a few women's team at the times were doing it. I remember specifically Shippensburg.
Oh man, that was the worst
Every
one.
strike, they would say, "Who let the ships out? Swish, swish, swish. Who let the ships out?" And it was the most annoying thing you could like as a bowler. You were like wanted to. Oh, it was so annoying. But that's what
I
that reminded me.
remember it being ship.
Oh, swish! What thought it was swish, swish.
Yeah, no, it
swish,
wasn't swish. It was ship. They were saying, yeah.
But I know it's pretty bad now. So yeah, I would love to hear some of the college ball. Maybe Alex is still around in the chat room. Some of the college women teams that are still doing those chants that drive the men crazy. And some of the men were, I think, we're doing some kind of chants. Oh my goodness! Moorhead State, we want Moorhead. That sounds like a chant right out of the league, the PBA main chants.
All right, Rob, let's wrap it up.
Yes, sir. First of the week, always fun. Hold on, where is my button? There we go.
All right, my final thought, Rob, is shout to John Burkett.
Oh,
Shout to John Burkett.
the old pitcher.
Yeah,
Giants
he
pitcher.
threw and bowler and current bowler.
Yeah.
He got to throw out the first pitch at one of the Texas Ranger playoff games.
Uh-huh.
And not only did he rock the Storm baseball / bowling jersey, okay, but he also wound up like he was going to throw it and then rolled it out, nice bowling style. So shout to John Burkett for showing love to the game, you know, on a big stage, playoff game, you know. So shout to him.
Yeah, we need more ambassadors like John Burkett and Mookie Betts and guys that love the sport to promote it, right, and campaign for it. So that's awesome. Love John Burkett. Love to get him on the show one day to talk. I'd be wanting more talking about his baseball career than I would his bowling career. So yeah, my final thoughts. Obviously, talking about the tournament next weekend, Agent On Open here in Kyrie Lanes and Chandler. I'll be out there Thursday night for the Sweep the Rack Sweeper. Yeah, and I think we will go live on Wednesday night. I will keep everyone posted. It will be a different and unique show. Might have some guests on the show from where I'm going to be filming. We'll see where I'm going to be streaming. If it doesn't work out, then we'll just have to figure out a different time and day to do the show because I'll be busy Wednesday night as well as Thursday night of next week with the tournament in town.
Okay. All right. Listen, if we miss a week, we miss a week. We'll come back the next week. We'll catch up on the Agent On Open. Maybe even if you want to do like later that Sunday night next week, we can set that up. But we'll let the people know for sure. We appreciate.
God.
Yeah, go get it.
Vasquez, what up, man?
We appreciate everybody joining us as always. Hit us up on social media. We do most of our chatting on Twitter. He's at Brooklyn Rob 11. I'm at the 215th. Hit us up through email, sweettherack@gmail. We love the emails coming in. We love when people get at us. We had, we got to do. Let's put this on the agenda for an episode coming up. Let's highlight some of our reader emails. Let's do a mailbag.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Let's do that. Let's do a mailbag. If you're listening, okay, and you email us, let's say before our next episode, right? We will consider your email for our mailbag. You can ask us anything you want. Throw out topics. It could be life advice. You could ask for life advice, bowling advice, parental advice. Okay,
ideas.
Yeah, love life advice. Okay, whatever you want. But we will add a mailbag segment to the show. Keep the emails coming. Sweeptherack@gmail. All right, feel free to reach out, but no trolls because we almost got trolled this week. Kevin Haybear, if you're listening to this, that post you sent us was a troll job on the guy's part who posted it to the Bowling Science Forum. So be aware. There's some people out there trying to set traps for us for worst of the week and whatnot.
Hey, I'm not saying that we did it. I responded to that post, but I kind of trolled back on the post. I'm not saying that we're going to be 100% sniffing out the trolls, but I think between me and Mike, we could figure out a troll job from a non-troll job.
I'm not gonna lie. I was coming with that for worst of the week. I was until you text me. That's what I had, because I was like, oh, this is too easy. I saw that. I said, yeah, I don't even need to monitor the forums the rest of the week. I got it. But all right, let's go. You know, a lot of people dropped out here as we were wrapping up, so we're gonna have to put it out on social media. But mailbag, hit us up, email us, whatever you want. Any topic is a go. We'll select some that we get. We'll share them on the show next week whenever we do a show.
Like and subscribe the video. I don't know why people always say that when I watch YouTube videos. So I don't know what that really does, but like and subscribe, I guess, because when in Rome. So
Go Phillies. Go Phillies. Go Birds. I'm out.
Go Jets.
Later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.